A heartfelt welcome back to my channel, CryptoQ Media. Envision a scenario where XRP is treated differently by banks worldwide compared to other cryptocurrencies. Now, I went over some options for a lower XRP set price in my last video, which the Bank of International Settlements may have considered. The proposed rule would have limited banks to holding no more than 1% of their capital in digital assets like XRP, which puts it in the second category of assets. This makes XRP price caps and floor ideas more workable, but they're either too low or too restrictive for our liking. It seems like forever since I first received an email from a Norwegian subscriber named Arnold. One of his opinions was based on something I stated, which we discussed in a prior Zoom conversation. He basically said, "You're looking at it the wrong way, so I'm curious to know his take on things." In addition to arguing that the 1% rule doesn't apply to XRP, he will also contradict me. Please subscribe if you find this video illuminating, as I will be explaining his entire thesis. Please let Harold know how much you appreciate his work on this. I'm really interested in reading it. Okay, then, I will start. Because of such, it is not limited to that. As we covered in the last video, XRP's potential as a global financial platform is limited by rules and regulations. This new or perhaps even old perspective helps us comprehend this limitation. Once again, Group 2 assets, including as XRP, were previously subject to a 1% exposure cap set by the Bank of International Settlements regulatory framework. All banks were thus restricted to investing no more than 1% of their total reserve funds, their core capital, in Group 2 assets. The asset is now just a collection of unpackaged elements. In the end, XRP is all that matters. The thinking is that the 1% exposure restriction would limit the price of XRP because big institutions like JP Morgan couldn't buy a lot of it. This might be something you know already, or I could give you a rundown on it. As a bridge asset, XRP has the potential to ease the exchange of almost any asset type, including dollars from other fiat currencies including the British pound. At the now, it only allows for currency swaps, but as it evolves, its usage will most certainly grow beyond just that. Because of this, transferring assets is a lot less expensive and more easier. Because of the inherent unpleasantness of cross-border payments, which are now the most difficult part of the financial sector, it has been noted that in order for XRP to operate as a bridge asset, it must be able to enable these transactions. At that level, the efficiency and cost-effectiveness of operation depend on the token's value. The ability to handle large amounts of money and transactions is also essential. Assuming that trend persists, the rising value of XRP will make things much easier. In light of this, it is preferable to choose an asset that can execute any financial action whenever feasible. Exactly that is what XRP stands for. Oh my God, we're in a total disaster. We don't know what's coming. Still, I find this to be an excellent point of view. It was consistent with the more hopeful perspective, I think. At present, this is the way the financial system operates. When talking about foreign currencies, big banks will inevitably come up. These banks keep a range of currencies on hand to ease transactions in these international marketplaces. Take a bank that want to do business with China as an example, they'll need Chinese currency to do so. Think of the Bank of England as a central bank that keeps a diverse range of currencies, including the ruble, the euro, the dollar, the yuan, and the Norwegian kroner. The catch is that it may get pricey to own a variety of currencies in large amounts. Also, you'll need a way to send the money, so it's not exactly a liquid asset. The operational complexity has also increased, and the cost of holding all of these different assets has gone up substantially. Now is when XRP really starts to shine. It should be noted that XRP's role as a bridge asset is not mandatory. In fact, it might function as the original asset. Thus, let's get a little deeper into that. If banks had XRP, they wouldn't need a bunch of other currencies. As a result, banks may decide to combine their holdings in multiple currencies instead of keeping 1% of their assets in 25 to 30 separate ones. XRP. With the advent of XRP, the system is made more efficient since one universal currency is introduced instead of 30 individual ones. If you have XRP, it's the same as if you had 30 different currencies, each of which allows access to one. Banks are free to do anything they want with their XRP holdings now that liquidity has increased, freeing up funds for other uses. Additionally, it simplifies and eases the entire process. At its current price and position, however, XRP is not merely a digital asset, it is a Category 2 digital asset. This 1% problem is rather limited. When it comes to this 1% thing, banks typically just follow the advice of the regulatory advisors at the Bank of International Settlements. If XRP wants to avoid the 1% cap, though, the rules need to be changed. In order to incorporate XRP into these limits in a different manner, the Basel framework needs to be changed. A high price for XRP makes it less volatile. At that point, it's basically functioning like software. This is because the 1% exposure limit notion is a way for the Bank of International Settlements and other banks to try to reduce the volatility of the cryptocurrency XRP. But the regulations would have to change. I think this is reasonable to anticipate as we go with these matters. In most cases, the 1% rule will play a role for the relevant institutions. It will not be enough to merely say that Dogecoin and XRP are similar when these financial institutions develop a deeper grasp of the cryptocurrency sector. Completely non-practical, none of them are. The second one is just for fun. Dogecoin and XRP are clearly not the same thing, I just don't get it. Eventually, it will be necessary to distinguish between the advantages of various cryptocurrencies so that they can be handled properly. Otherwise, it would be like attempting to argue that a car's wheel and a leaf are interchangeable. They are both things, to put it plainly. Nevertheless, it fails to address the numerous benefits of our leaf and provides no justification for distinguishing our regulation from that of tires. Furthermore, these are totally separate from one another with regard to the use case. Just because you can buy a car and a microphone doesn't mean they're interchangeable. In the present crypto regulations, it's the same as if they were tires and cars. Yeah, it's not good enough. Consequently, people's ideas about digital assets and money need to change. I pray and trust that they will realize that XRP is more valuable than cryptocurrencies like Dogecoin at some point. Bitcoin, which does its own special thing, is so unique that it cannot be contained within. It is equally crucial to treat it correctly. If you're making an effort to treat XRP fairly in regard to its functions, you should probably reclassify it as an asset with utility rather than this. Alternatives include reclassifying utility assets or doing away with the 1% cap altogether. One option to free up liquidity would be to eliminate the 1% cap on assets, or to be more precise, several banks and central banks, as a result of this policy change, have started to maintain a single currency for all transactions in that currency. It means a lot to me that you've subscribed and watched my channel. Later, I will see you.